This video is about Figma Basic to Advanced. Here you're gonna learn about everything from Figma Basic to Advanced, including frame, constraint, auto layout, component, prototyping, grading, whatnot. If you're interested to know how Figma works and wanting to master Figma, then this video is for you. Today junkies, my name is Saurabh. You are watching Saurabh UX. In this video, I'm gonna take you from zero to advanced in Figma with all the nuances to learn Figma along with how every element in Figma functions, including very basic understanding of the interface. On top of that, we'll be creating a mobile app along with the website also, so that you can get the practical understanding of Figma and how to create element and how to use them in an actual design. That's what this video is for. So without a further ado, let's get into Figma interface and learn it from there. This course will going to be very important or very special for you, as we're going to take you from zero to advanced in Figma. Along with that, I'll be talking about the important part of UI designing, or how you can utilize Figma as a UI design tool. You'll have to understand that how Figma contributes in your UI UX design journey. So we'll be learning about that, and it would be very basic to the advanced level. If you are someone who is just learning about Figma and wanting to learn from basic to advanced, then you are at the right place. And we have created very industry oriented content, so I hope this will gonna add value to your life. So as we are learning about Figma, first thing you need to do, you need to create an account on Figma. If you already have an account, you can log in that, or if you are not having an account, then in case you can sign up your account. Basically, you can just sign up on Figma and then you can create your account. So that's how it's gonna work. And it's a very simple software. You can easily sign up there, or if you're already a member of Figma family, then you can easily log in there. And so as I am already using Figma since couple of years, so I do have a account there, and I've used both the version of Figma, the paid and the free version also. These two files are free version that I'm recently using, and these are the file that I've created within the free version. And next to this, I mean, the first thing I'll be talking about the interface. As you can see, it's very clean interface, very few things in the interface, and they have categorized the content on the interface very well. This is the tab that I've opened, the design file that I have opened, and here I can quickly see the preview once I hover on that, which is very interesting. That can easily give me an insight what it has inside of it. And here we have profile section. Here you can just change the theme of your Figma, like you can take it from light to dark or dark to light, or if you want, you can just let Figma adapt the system theme also. Next, we have settings where you can customize your Figma as per your requirement, or you can control the access also, that we'll be talking in this video. And then if you have couple of accounts like me, in that case, you can easily like switch between the accounts here. And we have ad accounts, as if you already have used some sort of Gmail or anything else. In that case, we will gonna use any other account. We can add it here. Or next to this, we have, or below that, we have the logout button, which will gonna help you out to log out from your account. You can log out all the account at once, or you can individually log out them also. And then we have search bar. Basically, if you want to search anything by the name of team, project, or file, you can just put the name here, like B2C. For example, I have a team named as B2C. Once I have searched that, all the files that are, or those are inside of that, are gonna come out here. So that's how it looks like. And next to this, like as you can see, we have this very much sort of a bell icon, which is most of the time being used for notification, and we are familiar with that. If if you received any sort of notification from your team or anything that has to be notified to you, we're gonna look here. If you have any unread notification, it will gonna show the count of the notification here, as like Instagram or any other social media where you get the like so many notifications. Then we have recent tab here. Recent tab is nothing but the files so you have visited recently. These files will gonna appear here and you can easily go through them. So I am working since a long time, so that's I have so many files here. The files those are shared with me also can be shown here. So that's how it looks like. And next to this, we have like this your teams. If you're working in any team, these teams will gonna like appear here, or if you have created any team, that will also gonna appear here. Next is we have draft section. If you have something which is not a part of any sort of like team or any sort of project, that will gonna appear in the draft, and you can create n number of drafts here. I have so many drafts here that I have created. Next to this, we have our teams. Within team, we have multiple projects. For example, this is the name of the team, B2C products. Inside that, these are the project name, Figma Basic to Advanced, that will be working on. And other team is sort of Design Clan, which is the project that I'm working on, which is sort of a community that we are creating for designers. And another Karyashala, one of the team name that I have given here. So that's how these are the, oh, not a team name, basically it's a project name. Inside that, there can be multiple design files. And once I say team, there would be like whole lot of people who will be collaborating in team. Team means people, right? And that means you will gonna control the access also within the team. Some people gonna have the edit access to the team, or some people who are just giving a supervision, or the people who will be on and off part of the team as per the requirement or the kind of product you're working on. You can like manage the access also from here, as if you are already familiar with Google Sheet, Google Document, there you can share the access in two ways. You can make them you can then make them edit or moderate that file, or you can give them a view access also. In a very similar way, you can give them a view access or the added access within the file here. Next to this, if you want to add any project, you can add it from here, or you can directly hover on the team name, and you there is a plus icon. Once you click on that, you can add the new project to the team. And then we have the number of people who are collaborating on that team, that would be shown here. For example, now I'll be working on this project which is called Figma Basic to Advanced. So if you want to add any file within that project, in that case you can directly add it from here. Figma has two products. One of them is design file, another one, I mean Figma, another is Figma board. Figma board is basically a tool where a lot of people can collaborate, ideate, brainstorm, or can come together to find the solution, or to collaborate on a particular problem statement. Maybe later on talking about that in the next video, or whenever I get a time to create a video around Figma. As of now, we'll be more talking about the design side of the Figma, where we create screens in Figma. You are much more interested into that, so we'll be talking about that only here, and more on that as we are going through the Figma. Once again, I would like to make sure that you are following it through. And another thing, it's a very industry oriented course where I'm just teaching you from very zero to advanced level. You're gonna master Once you're gonna master this, or you're gonna watch this complete video, you'll be, I cannot say much about it, but you'll be equipped enough to create or replicate any sort of website. You'll be lacking on the fundamental side of it, but you can easily replicate any interface. That sort of intuitive course it is. So don't forget to watch it complete, or make sure to watch the complete video till the end. Hopefully you're gonna learn a whole lot of things here. And so as we are working in this, so until unless I do not have any file, I cannot work on anything, right? So first I'll have to create a design file. To add that, I can just hover on the project name, and there will be a plus icon. If I'm gonna click on that, I'm gonna add a design file there, right? It's been added here, right? It automatically gives it a name as untitled, or you can add it from here also. And if you already have a design file, you can import it inside inside any project. And if for example you're working with XYZ company earlier, and you got or you have a design file from there, or you all, or another one example can be like you were having an older account, now you don't want to use that account, but you have some important files there, you can import them into the project that you want to keep in. And then we have share. Basically share is nothing but again access. You can give access in two ways here again, like can view or can edit. People who can moderate the content, the people who can edit the content inside, uh, people who can edit the content inside or can view the content. Next to this we have this star icon, which is very much people are very much familiar to this. It is basically used to add any of the design file or any of the project as a favorite. Once you click on that, those favorites will gonna appear here. So that's how it works. And now let's open the design file and let me take you through the complete interface of the Figma. Let me name this file as full video about Figma. Your Figma was 0 to advance, 0 to advance. Let me, instead of just using numbers here, let me see use 0 here. So this is the name of my project that I'm working on, and this is the name of the design file that I have created here. Now I'll be taking you through this complete interface, and before moving forward, I would like to make sure that you understand Figma. So basically, it's very simple software, and it is very easy to use. That's why it has replaced a couple of softwares into the market. And within next 10-20 minutes, you'll be very much equipped with to create any sort of website or replicate any website. So without a further ado, let's jump into it and learn it from there. And as I said, it's very simple software. So there are very less number of tools here. The people who are coming from graphic design background, they might have seen whole lot of tools into Photoshop, Illustrator, or any other software like After Effects, Premiere Pro, or the software that you work on, right? But it is not that complex. It is very easy to use, or anyone can learn Figma within 10 to 20 minutes. It's that easy. And this course, as I said, it's industry oriented course. You're gonna create the content to the mark and which you're gonna ship to the industry. So that sort of content we'll be creating as of now. Content means any sort of website, mobile app, software, anything that you would like to replicate in Figma or want to design. There's a lot of things uh, no contribute to design anything, right? So I'll be first talking about the main menu here. Here, a lot of things are listed. So quick actions you can see here, and then file. The whole of things comes under file, like, and then edit section, view section, object, text, arrange, vector, plugins. Plugin is nothing but a smartest way to get things done promptly. And then widgets, if you're working on any third-party software which can be integrated with Figma, that you can add into widgets. And then you can customize the interface and the tools that you have according to your requirement in Figma also. And then we have library here. Library is basically like component, the set of components once we put them together, or for the people who are coming from graphic design background. For them, it's more of like a style guides. It's quite big, bigger than that, but you can understand like it's very similar to that. Basically, you can keep your assets in library. You can manage your assets. And we have help and accounts here. There are a lot of things. There's help page if you want have any if you have any problem in Figma, you can post it there. The keyword shortcuts, support forum where the people who are having problems do post their content or their question, their problem there, and the community helps them. And video tutorials about Figma, like this one. Figma also has created some advanced tutorials, and you can watch them also. Then release notes, the Figma also releases some notes time to time about Figma or its releases. So you can, or I mean, the new updates though come to the Figma, they post the note about them. You can check them there also. And legal summary, some legal documentation about Figma, and then account settings, and then again logout, as we have seen on the homepage of the Figma. Now we'll be talking about the other thing that are more concerned with you. First thing we have move tool. Move tool basically helps you out to move the content within the canvas, and then you can resize the particular height or width of a design element that you have created. For example, I am creating or using a rectangle here. Don't focus on the shape that I've used. Just see how move tool works. Using move tool, I can just move this content here and there as per my requirement. And if I want to customize the width of the content, I can do it easily like this way. Or if I want to customize the height or width of this component of this design, I can do it easily like this. Any of the individual thing, I can do it here. Next to this, I have a scale tool, which basically is pretty much like scaling up your content or downsizing your content. For example, I want to scale this content. In case I increase the width of this design element, height automatically goes up because it scales the I mean, like it scales the content in a particular ratio. You want to keep that ratio, and height you know increases proportional to the width of the content. If you increase width of it, automatically it will increase the height of the element. Basically, it helps you out to scale the component in a particular ratio. In case you don't want to distort your element, then you can use the scale tool, and we do use the scale tool very much there. And then we have a frame here. First thing, frame is nothing. Think of a frame as a digital container, and the photo frame that you have, it's very much like you can put any content inside it. It's like a bucket. For example, you have put it something inside of it, and then you can easily move that content from here to there, right? So basically, it's like a bucket, or you can think of it as a photo frame that you have in your at your home. Once you inside put photo inside the frame, that frame carries that photo with it with themselves, right? So that's how it works. Frame is nothing but a bucket that carries the content within this. And all sort of use cases I'll be talking next. I mean, I'll be talking further in the like next to this interface chapter in this video. And then we have section. Section is nothing but if you want to categorize your content, you can categorize content in multiple sections. For example, as I said, in design, you work in multiple phases, or if you're working in any product or any product, a product is built in couple of phases. For example, you have completed the first phase of the product, so you can categorize that content, or you can section, you can divide that content into a section, and you can name that section. For example, this is section A, right? And this content is now ready to ship to the development team. You can mark it ready to dev, and developers or development team can easily come here and can identify that this is the content that we can start working on it for the development. So that will gonna make your collaboration easy. Or in case if they have given some feedback, or you got some feedback, or you want to remove that status, the ready status, you can remove it from here. So basically, section allow you to collaborate with the development team in a better way, along with like making their life easy to export out the content. It's very easy as of now because we have very few elements in the canvas, but when it comes to the actual design file, that looks very messy, very heavy. In that case, it becomes really difficult to export the content that is like been ready to development. But this is not the only way to collaborate with developers. There are like some what of like very best practices to easily collaborate with them. So we'll be talking about them hopefully in the couple of next videos, like how to collaborate with developers or how to provide them a design handoff. That hopefully, if I get a chance, I'm gonna create a video on that also. So as we have talked about section, so section basically helps you out to create, I mean, helps you out to sectionize or categorize your content in sections. And we have slice tool. For example, slice, as its name says, if you want to slice out content or basically cut out content into slice, you can use a slice. If any part of the content, if you want to slice out, you can easily export it, or you can save it to your local machine. It's very simple, right? So that's how it works. Or I don't know any of the use case of it because I have not used it. It is most I think like it is mostly used in graphic design. So these are the people who do use slice tool to create or I mean to cut the content. Then we have shapes here. First we have rectangle and we have line. And I'm gonna put it on top of this rectangle. Then we have arrow here. Then we have ellipse, basically a circle. Then next to this we have polygon. And next to this I have a star here. And next we have place, image, and video. As I said, as we are working on design, we'll be working on couple of images, illustrations, or all sort of design assets that you think you need to bring to your design canvas. You can easily use this tool, place, image, or video. It will gonna upload that image or anything from your computer to canvas. For example, I want to put this image or place this image inside this ellipse. I can easily do it. Or if I want to do something else, I want to put this outside of this image, I mean outside of this circle, I can do this way. Now I can scale this content as per my requirement, like this, right? So that's how it works. It's very easy, and as I said, it's very simple tool. Hope you, I mean, you are enjoying it. Next to this, guys, we have like pen tool here, which is basically used to create the custom shape. If you want to create something custom or you want to create a custom shape, you can use the pen tool to create that like this. So that's how pen tool works. And there are a whole lot of other applications also of pen tool also. So that's how we use the pen tool. Next to this, we have pencil. Pencil is very much like the normal pencil that we have. And that's how it works. It's very interesting to use this, but I have not figured out the use case of it yet. So it's interesting to use pencil basically. And then we have text tool. Text tool is basically very much used to add any text like this. This is for example, this is, let me, it might not be visible. Hopefully this is visible to you now. This is, for example, this is sort of UX. You can mention anything, or as text is very integral part of any UI or UX design to make user understand what we are doing, how we're doing it. That's how we use the uh, test, or like that's how we use the text here. Next to this, we have widgets icon. In widgets, you're gonna see components. If you have any component library, it will gonna appear here. And next to this, plugin to make our life easy. We use a whole lot of plugins like Unsplash to download the images, Iconic 5 to download icons, free pick again for images, story set for illustrations, remove busy is basically to remove the background, and then we have breakpoint to design the responsive designs. And next to this we have hand tool. As I said, basically a move tool is just used to move the content within the canvas, whereas hand tool is used to move the complete canvas here. Then we have comments. In case you wanna leave a comment or if you get a comment, this is comment tool. You can mention like this. This will comment will appear here. If you have answered to this comment like this, I got it, and you can tag someone also here, right? So as per your requirement, you can do that. Like if you want to tag any one of them, you can easily tag it using a sign. And if that comment is being resolved, you have already worked on that and you have fixed that issue or fix that feedback, then you can resolve it easily. Then as I said, we have the name of this project and then name of the file. Then we have our profile section where you can spotlight yourself, or you can start the audio conversation like this, or if you have your teammates, they can directly join here. As I don't need to start any audio call now, so like this. Or you can spotlight yourself also, like if you're working in a Figma file, you want to let your people know that you are somewhere in the file, so you can spotlight yourself and they can easily follow you, right? And then we have share button here. Using share button, you can share the access of this file. You can easily share the access of the file, like you can share the view, edit, or can view prototype access here as per your requirement. Whatever the requirement you have, you can do it accordingly. right? That's how it works. Next to this, we have development tool or dab mode. Basically, that helps you out to translate to design in a very good manner. So that's where you can use the development tool. Next, we have preview or present section, which allows you to, preview your content or present your content to third party. For example, I previewed it, so I can easily present it also. In two ways, you can use this. Preview means you're gonna see the content in a same screen like this. Same window you can see the content that you are creating, or basically preview of that. You can take it to the next page also, to the next tab also in a presentation mode. Or in case you click on the presentation mode, it's gonna take you directly to the next page. So that's how it works. And then we have like how many percent of zoom we would like to do for this interface. You can do it also. It's basically zoom of the canvas. As I'm just going down and going up, you can easily see like now it's 100% or whatever the percentage it is, right? And next to this we have this like design panel here. There are two tabs, like one is design and another one is prototype, that I'm gonna talk about in very brief in this video. In design panel, first we have arrangement tools that helps you to arrange your content within the frame. For example, I want to put this content on the left side of this frame. I can easily align it to the left, or you can align it to the right. You can align horizontally center or vertically center. I can align it to top or the bottom also as per my requirement. And one more thing I would like to highlight, in mobile screen or in any website or software, you'll be working on 2D interfaces. So in 2D interface, we have two axes like Y or X or Y. So once we talk about the axis, that means this content will be placed on two axes, on certain position on the X and certain position on the Y axis. To manage this position, you can customize the value, or you can check the value of it, like where it is positioned on X axis and where it is positioned on the Y axis. You can directly customize it from here. Most of the time, you'll not be using this value like this. All the time, you'll be just using your cursor to move the content within the frame or within the canvas. Then as we are working on two axes, so we're gonna have the two measurement of any element, like height and width. So you can customize the height like 50 and width like 100, like this. So you can easily customize the height and width of any component as per your requirement. And as we are working on two different axes, so we can rotate our content also on those axes. For example, I want to rotate my content and I can rotate it to the certain angle. As I'll be rotating, it will be changing their position also on axis, on x axis and y axis also, right? That's how it works. Then as we are working on a digital interface, and most of the element you might have seen are rectangular or in a square form, or very few of them are in a circular form. So as whatever the shape has the corner, in that case you can just give a corner radius to that shape. For example, now I'm rounding those corners. You can give it a round like radius in one go to all four corners, or individually you can customize. For example, you want to customize this corner extremely, and rest of them you're gonna keep 5 pixels. So that's how you can individually customize them. When we have constraint, which is very integral part, then we have layers, and though is also very important part, and then we have fill. Fill is nothing but a color inside of any design element. You can customize that color from color wheel here, or you can pick that color from somewhere else like this. You can customize you can just maintain the or manage the opacity of that also, or the range of that color from here, right? That's how it works. And here also, if you want to put anything else inside that like design element, you can put image also from here, or you can add video, or else you can use the gradient also. And there are multiple sort of gradient like linear, radial, angular, and diamond. So if you are familiar with the gradient, you can use that also. Basically, gradient is nothing but a mixture of two color or combination of two colors, and there are like couple of sort of gradient there. So you can use them also. As I said, we'll be working in shapes or working with this design element. If you want to add border to that element, you can add border. We call it a stock here, and you can customize the what like color of that border, and then the opacity of that border, basically how transparent, how solid would it be. And then you can like hide or make it visible as per your requirement. If you want to remove it, you can click on this minus button. And then the placement of that border, whether you want to keep it center, inside or outside of this frame. It might not be visible because it is not that thick. Let me make it 15 pixel. Right, it is outside now. Let's see, just give it a like look. Once I put it inside, it go inside. Once I put it center, you go in center. I put it outside, it goes outside. So that's how it works. Here you can control the thickness of that border and some other settings also, like stroke styling also you can do it. Now it's solid, or you can do it in dash also. If you want to customize it, you can customize it. uh, The dashes as per like each dash you can customize, and the curve of the dash also, whatever the requirement you have. I'll use the solid here for now. And then effects, if you want to give it a style or you want to give your element a style, so that's how you can use the effect also. In effect, you can add the shadow basically on both the axes. Like for my axis I want to add 15, or to make it visible let's add 30, or you can see that it's been added right there, right? And on axis is 30 also, you can see like average shadow. But it is only giving shadow in two dimensions like x and y. If I want to like add the shadow on the third axis also, I'll have to create illusion. That means I'll have to add the blur there to make it look like that I am adding shadow on behind like this on this also, in terms of depth also. It's just illusion, and there are other ways also to add the effect to any element. If you want to export that element, you can export that in the multiples of one time, two time, three time as per your requirement, and multiple formats also like PNG, JPEG, SPG, and PDF. And then we have prototype sections. Basically, if you want to make your content interactive, you can use prototype. I'll be explaining further about prototype in this video further. And then we have layer section here. Basically, in Figma, we are working in each in like in each file has multiple pages. Like here, you can see name of the pages. Here you can add the pages in layer section, and then within those pages, whatever the layers or whatever the elements we have created, these elements would be stacked up in a form of layer. Here you can track them, right, as per your requirement. Basically, one image is put it on another one like this. I have this image and this image is inside this frame. That means this bucket has this rectangle one, right? That's how it works. Then we have asset panel. If you have created any asset, I'll be talking about assets next in this video or further in this video. As of now, you are already familiar with Figma. Now, first thing that you can start with is frame, which is an integral part of any interface. Frame is nothing but a digital container. Think of as a photo frame. When you put your photo inside the frame, you can carry it anywhere. Like very similar to this, you can carry that frame anywhere within the canvas in Figma. That means once you put anything inside that frame, it will gonna carry it out. Basically, frame is used to wrap up the content. Whenever we work in digital interfaces, most of the elements are functional, or I can say these elements are interactive. That's where frame comes into play. Frame, again, I would like to summarize, is nothing but a container. Think of as a bag. If you put anything inside of that bag, you can carry it along the bag anywhere. So that's how frame works in Figma. As now we are already familiar with frame, and we have already tweaked it out and learned about it, how does that function, what sort of frame sizes you need to take for various sort of design and various sort of screen sizes. Now next things comes to the picture, which is constraint. Whenever you're placing any content within the frame or within any screen, that content would be placed on two axes. As we are working in two dimensional screens, basically there would be two axes, x and y. X means horizontal axis and Y means vertical axis. That means our content would be placed on these two axes. If you want to fix the position of the content, that's where constraint comes in picture. You can play with the position of any element along with the sizing of that element. If you want to scale up that component with the frame or downsize it with the frame, that's where constraint plays an integral role. Without even doing anything, that will gonna behave in a certain way once you fix it out. That is what constraint is. To know more about it, let's get into Figma and learn it from there. Now I'll be explaining further or very integral part of Figma, One of them is frame, constraint, auto layout, components, and prototyping. These four integral part we were talking about, these would be sort of intermediate level, not very advanced one, but like two of the very integral part I'll be talking on a very basic level, like, but these would be like enough to create or replicate any sort of website. So I'll be using taking any sort of website. For example, I do gonna take this Zomato website, or let's take Swiggy. Oh, no, let's take Zomato, because Zomato we are very much familiar in India. If you're watching it from India, Zomato is a sort of like food ordering website, and here you can easily order food from the comfort of your home. If we open the NCR wala version, so this is Zomato website. Now I'm already logged in into it, so I'll be replicating this interface. The first thing I need, let's download some assets first. I need this image, so let's copy this image and post it here. And we'll keep it somewhere else. Let me manage this content. Now you should please start doing it with me, or stop this video in between and start doing it so that you are following with me. Let's put this image inside this so that I can keep track of it. Now another thing, I don't think I needed anything else. Let's create it out. So first thing, as we can see, we are designing for a certain screen size. So we'll be using a screen or a frame to contain this content, to keep this content. Here I'll be explaining about frame, as you are already familiar with the frame now. Frame is nothing but a digital container. Now you'll be knowing about other use cases of the frame also. So we'll not be creating complete website in one go. First, I'll be creating a smallest unit or the now I'll be creating contributing elements of this interface. One of them is this card, this restaurant card. Let's create this one first to understand, or to make you understand the concepts, right? So let's jump on it and create. First, there's a outer frame here. So let's add a frame here first. Let's take the, let me do the designs, 300 I think, and let's just remove this ratio, make it 400. Looking much more, let's make it with 360. Now it's looking good. As you can see, this has the rounded corner here, so I'll be rounding their corner. Also, let me round this corner. Example, in case to round it out, let's make give it 32 pixel radius. Now another thing I can see, there's inside another one frame that has image. So let's create another frame inside of it, which will gonna I gonna keep 320. Will align it to the center, and then manage the spacing between 20 pixel. And again it has the corner radius somewhere, so I'm gonna give it a 20 pixel. Make it visible, add some color here. Next to this we have this strip. I'm gonna create this strip. For example, let me use frame again, as it has one more thing, as we are learning about frame only. So whenever you are seeing multiple layers, like more than one layer, they will gonna use frame. In case of this one also, think about thing in terms of Figma. Figma works in layers basically. One image is stacked up on the another image basically. So this background is one image, then this another image, then on top of that is another image, then we have this text which is also considered as image here. So whenever you're using multiple layers or more than one layer, there you're gonna use frame. Whenever it comes to use multiple layers, you're gonna use frame. For example, this card has multiple layers or more than one, where we're gonna use frame everywhere when it comes. So for example, this for background, everything inside this I've used frame, and here also this strip inside this I've used frame. And this strip is, there's a 50% of written there, that is also more than one layer, which is two. That's why I'm also using frame there. So now let me first of all give it a corner radius on these two, on this and this. So let me just click on it and then go to the individual corner radius. Let me give it a 4 pixel and the 4 pixel to this one. also. Now it's rounded. Let me give it a another cool color that we are using, little bluish. And then let me add the text on it, like 50 pixel, for example. 50%, sorry, not 50 pixel, 50% off. Content is quite bigger than this one. Let's resize it. No, this is the right way to resize, but you can do it this way also. That's how you can do it, right? And now I've created this. Now let me check what is there. Now we're gonna see like we have the title, subtitle, and there's a start thing. Let's go back to this. First of all, let the title. For example, we are ordering food or designing for Burger King card. Burger King is the title. Here I can customize the text. Uh, Here I can customize the typography that I'm using. For example, I'm using Inter, which is the family of typeface, and then the weight of the typeface. I'm gonna use like semi bold and the size of that also. For example, 20 pixel. And subtitle I'm gonna keep smaller than this one or little lighter like regular one, or let's make it 16 pixel like this. So what are like Burger King offers we can mention here. These two things are like restaurant offers. Let's make it a little more smaller like this. Now it's look good. Now what we have like this rating section. So again it is more than one layer there. Like one is the background, another one is the. First, let me give it a fill. Like here, you need to add the fill, then add the color inside of this like this. And again, what you need to do is scale it a little bit, and then give it a corner radius of 8 pixels for all the corners. Actually, pretty much more. Let's keep it consistent at a 4. Then one thing you can write directly text there, or you can just copy the existing text that can work there. So I'm gonna make it a little more bigger like this and make it 10 pixels. First, let me just make it 4.5, and then I do need a star. So one thing I can do, I can directly bring a star from here, from the shape thing. Put them a little closer. There are other ways also to do it. Right. Next to this, we have this 150 for one. So it is basically in what amount or at what price one person can like order the food from Burger King. Or so let me, as Burger King said, rupees 150, right, for one. But they have a little smaller text, so let's make it 10 pixel only. Right. Next to this, we have delivery time that it takes. For example, it takes 30 minutes on an average. So we can mention that and align it to the right side. So give it, we need to fade it out a little bit. It's pure black color. So let's bring that opacity to the 30%. I mean the 60%. And then as we can see here, next to this we have separator, a line here, and then we have text written below that. So let's use a line here from here to there, like this and like this. Opacity you can give it a 30%, and then you can add any text here. For example, I want to add here, this is very popular burger, very popular place to eat in NCR. Like this, I can play this in the center of the screen. NCR, not VCR. Like this. Or you, if you want to add anything else, you can do that also. So this is the use case of the frame. If again we're gonna summarize that, if you're working on more than one layer, that's where we're gonna use the frame. When it comes to more than one layer, for example, of this again, one is background, then this image, and on top of that this strip where this 50% of return, that means it is more than one layer. In that case, we're gonna use frame on top of that. Again, in this image, again there is one strip, I mean more than one, then we're gonna use frame. Again here, we are here two things like background and this text, again more than like one layer. Again we have used frame here. Here there are individual things like title and subtitle, that's why we have not used, because these are individuals and these are one. Here also three layers, one background, then this number, and then this star. That's why we have used frame there. Now you must be very much clear that whenever it comes to more than one layer, that's where we use the frame here. Now we'll be talking about the constraint, as we have already designed this card for Restro. But the one thing happens when I descale this card, the content remains at a particular place. I'm not able to easily scale up the content because this content is not behaving when I'm scaling it up, because the position is very much fixed. This is the Burger Piece King and Burgers and Pizza, the title and subtitle is fine. The rest of the things are not working the way I want them to work. So in that case, I will have to fix their position or will have to allow them to scale up. That's where constraint, I mean, that's where constraint comes in picture. You can add constraint there to behave them in a certain way. For example, I want to align it to the top left side or the left side of the screen, left side of the frame. So wherever it is in the frame, it will be aligned on the left of their position, this wala side. So here, once I'm gonna click on this, it's gonna allow me to add the constraint in the right side panel. So it is left, very good. And vertically, I'll not be moving my content, so I'm gonna give it both top and bottom. Again, for the same content, left and top and bottom both, because I'll not be scaling the content vertically because I'm more concerned about horizontal content. Again, this one I wanted to align it to the right side of the frame. So I'm gonna align it to the right side, and vertically I don't have any concern. Vertically I'm not be considering it now. For in both of them also, I want to align to the right side and vertically top and bottom. I will not be caring. I want to scale it scalely. I'm like I want what I want. Once I scale this, it should not be aligned to the left side. These two are working now. This wala part and this wala part, right? But it is going to the center, which is looking quite awkward. So as I'm opening it in the bigger screen, it's gonna look like this, which is very like which is not looking good, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna allow this to scale horizontally. Whenever I scale it, it should scale it up horizontally. So now I've horizontally scaled it, right? Whenever I'm gonna scale it up, I'm gonna scale the with the content like this, right? Again, this is also not working the way I want it to work. This should also scale horizontally. So we're gonna at the constraint, they should be in the center. The center, I mean center, it has to be. So once I scale, it will gonna go in the center and the line will gonna scale with the width of the frame like this, right? So one more thing I have to take care whenever you're designing, we always design for the smallest screen size possible in that category. For example, you are designing for mobile, we do use 360 pixel there. In case you are designing for desktop, we use 1280 pixels to 1440 because these are the smallest screen on average. So if your content is fitting inside the smallest screen very well, it will not automatically fit into the bigger screens, so which is very much obvious. So that's how it works. As we are already familiar with frame and constraint, next thing which comes to play is auto layout. Auto layout is nothing but a way to smartly manage spacing between elements. I mean design elements. You can smartly manage this spacing. When I talk about the space, we can manage the space in two way. The space in between the element and the outer space of the element. That's the smartest way to manage this space. To know more about auto layout, it's better to get into the Figma canvas and learn it from there. Auto layout is basically helps you out to manage the spacing between the element. For example, these are the two elements here. I want to manage the space. One thing I can do like this, but this is not a scalable way to manage the spacing. For example, I want to space manage the space in between of them very smartly. I can just select both of them and auto layout them. I can give the spacing in between. For example, now I want to keep it 16 pixel. I can easily give it from here, right? And for example, between both of them also, it is 6 now. I can do 8 and add the auto layout here. Now it's 8 pixel. Now I can just auto layout this and this one. Auto layout now it's 16 pixel. I can customize it for 12 for my requirement, or 16, which is looking good. Now I can just auto layout them also, which is called nest auto layout. Now I can manage the spacing as per my requirement, like this from here, or I can just do it from here also. This is the inner space basically that I am managing as of now, right? But in case I want to manage the outer space here and there, like on top or bottom or left or right, I can do it from here individually, or with a pair, like right left I can do in one go, and or like basically padding, we call it a padding. Right and right, right and left I can do in one go, and top and bottom in one go. So first I'm gonna manage the horizontal, which is 20 pixel, and vertical, which is 20 pixel also. Now you can see the spacing between that. It is also 20 pixel, it is also 20 pixel, it is also 20 pixel, it is also 20 pixel. Now let me make it 0 for to keep it 0. I would like to keep it 0. And if you want to individually maintain the space for any of the specific site, you can do it from here also for all the 4 sites. And we can gonna, like, you can do auto layout and nest also. Like you can like create any sort of layers of auto layouting, which will gonna efficiently manage help you out to manage the space. For example, I want to do it 24. So in case when I'm increasing this one, this space is not happening out. Automatically it is taking it out, because these are clubbed together, right? If I'm gonna manage this spacing, nothing else would be hampered. For example, it's 8, I'm gonna do it 4. Nothing else would be hampered. Only this one is being customized. So that's how it works. A very useful way to manage the gap between or the outer space. Basically, we can say it like this: if you want to manage the space in between the element or the outer space of any element, you can use the auto layout there. As of now, we have already learned about very integral or very important part of Figma. One of them is frame, constraint, and auto layout. The next thing which comes to plays a very important role in product designing, that is component. Most of the element that you see on any design interface are designed as component is nothing but a design element that we can reuse multiple times. Whenever you're gonna make any change into the component, that will gonna reflect into the main instance of that component, or all the instance that you have created, or any change that you make to the main component, that will gonna reflect into the instance. But in case if you make any change into the instance, that will not gonna reflect into the main component. If you detach that element from the main component, then if you make any change into the main component, that does not reflect into the instance that you have detached from the main component. That's how component works. So we could put it this way: I think you are already a member of a family. For example, the property that your father owns, you are liable. You have a part in that property. In case if you buy any property, your father would not be liable into that property. In case if you have registered by the name of your father, in that case they'll be liable. But if you have bought this property by your name, then your father will not be liable to that property. That means you inherit your father's property, but your father does not inherit anything from you. That's how Figma component works. In case your father disown you, then you will not be liable to the your father's property as well. That's how it works. Basically, all the instances inherit the property from their main component, and if you make any changes into the main component, that reflect to all the instance that we have created. In case you have detached that element from that main component library, and then you're making any change into that main component, that does not inherit in the detached component. That's how it works. To know more about or to experiment with the component, we'll have to get into Figma canvas, and we're gonna learn it from there. I want to use this card at multiple places, like this, right? Same card is used, just content being changed, right? This image and the title being changed. The layout and the structure it looking like is very much similar. One way can be I can just easily duplicate it, but that's not a scalable way. For example, I want to make any change, I'll have to individually make the changes in every one, right? That's why Figma came up with the very smartest way to convert that element into a component. So what you need to do to convert that, you click on the element, click on this diamond shape button. Once you click it, it became a component. Once you convert that component, once you convert any element into a component, for example, I want to name it as Chintu card. Any name you can give it as per your requirement, or in a common language or in a shared language, right? Once you convert any element into a component, that will gonna appear into the asset panel as it's appearing now, right? You can search by the name also if you know the name, or else it will be directly appear there if you have very few of them. So now what will happen, now put it aside. For example, I have used this component at 20 places. Let's make a row for like this. So, and I want to change the color of the image that I've used, which is some sort of reddish color here. So I'll have to individually do it. But when I've converted that into a component, I'll have to just change the, color in the main component, and it will gonna directly appear in every one of them and each one of them. That's how easy it is. For example, I have just changed it here. For example, this I'm gonna change it here, make it yellow. Everywhere it's been yellow, right? Everywhere like this. How easy it is, right? It is just a very basic of component. Instead of creating it multiple times, I can reuse it whenever I needed that. So that's how it works. It's very easy, right? You can change it easily, and that's how it works. And guys, if I'm little fast, you can just slow down the video and then customize the speed according to your requirement. This is the component part. For example, I like now if you want to create an interactive design, I'm gonna showcase you very simple way of creating interactive design, which is called prototyping. So in that case, for example, I want what I want. If user click on, this is the element. If user clicks on this, it should take to this screen where I have the smallest. Let me downsize it. I'm first of all I'm designing this. Right. So I what I want you once user click on this. Once user click on this, first let me just retest this. One more thing. If I'll be making any change in the component, it will not gonna appear into the virtual phase. As we have already learned about the basic of Figma like frame, constraint, auto layout, and component. We have learned about the very basic of component, and component is very diverse subject or very diverse topic. It will gonna consume complete an hour. It's very tough to summarize the component within 5-6 minutes. So I've just given you very basic understanding of the component. In case you want to know more about it, comment in the comment box below. I'm gonna create a complete video on that because it's a very vast field or a very vast topic. I'll have to create the complete video on that, then you'll be better able to understand about component. Next thing, as we have already learned about frame, auto layout, constraint, and basic of components, the next thing which comes to picture is prototyping. As I said, most of the design that we do create in Figma are functional, right? The most of the design that you see in mobile application or in any website are functional. That is why, or that's where prototyping plays a very integral role. If you want to make any component interactive, you'll have to prototype that. Basically will be interconnecting two screens or two elements, and we are defining or determining their behavior, and you can manipulate that behavior, or we can say we can customize that behavior, how that element reacts if I do or take any action. So that's what prototyping is. To know more about this, let's get into Figma and learn it from there. Prototyping is nothing but a way to take you from one screen to another, or basically the action user performs, you can mimic those actions into Figma also. For that you need to prototype. So it's very simple, or I'm gonna give you a very basic understanding of it. For example, I have two screens here, right? In case I'm just defining the action, for example, user clicks on this image anywhere, it will gonna take you to this screen. So I'll have to connect this from to this screen. That's where prototype comes into play. For example, I've selected it, then I went to the prototype section here, And then I have added the interaction here. Action, first I'm going to define the action. What I want on click. On click, it should trigger that action. What it should does, it will be navigating to another page. So I'm gonna have added navigation here, and then I'll be defining the destination, which is iPhone 14, 15 Pro 2, which is the this wala frame. I can select the frame. So now I can preview this. What we need to do to preview, go here and preview this. Once I click on it, it's gonna take me there. Again, I'm gonna show it to you. Once I'm gonna click on it, it will gonna take me there. So that's how it works. That's how easy it is. So this is very basic. It went you from zero to advanced level in Figma, or if you want to become expert Figma, you have to practice more and more. As much as time you put into it, you're gonna become advanced into Figma. Because Figma is very vast tool. It's very simple, but it has functionality that will gonna help you out to mimic very good experience. If you want to really, learn it out and want to have very good experience, then this can be a very amazing tool for you to produce really good designs. I believe these are the things that will gonna help you out to design any of the experience that you have ever experienced into digital product. So more on that, if you want to become an expert, what you can do, ping in the comment. I'll be coming very detailed session on each topic, and then you can learn it from there easily. As we have already covered five very important topics of Figma: frame, constraint, auto layout, component, and prototyping. These are very integral part of any design. I'm going to create a very detailed video on each topic separately. If you want to know more about it, please make sure to comment below, and please make sure to subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed it yet. And if you're already till here, please make sure to share this video with the people who might get benefit from it. Thank you so much.